Nagtataka ako sa kwento nitong si Deo Hanito Balbuena o mas kilala sa pangalang Diwata. Ang nag-viral na may-ari ng parisan dito sa tabi lang ng Senado. Siguro lahat tayo alam kung nasaan siya dati. Nakapwesto. Mula sa pagiging palaboy, umasenso siya dahil sa nag-viral na parisan. Pero magmula noon, marami na ang nangyari at tuluyan nang nagsara ang parisan niya at nagpa-declare na siya ng bankruptcy. Itong nakarang linggo, siya inaresto dahil sa hindi pagrehistro at pagbayad ng SSS. Panoorin po natin ang isang maikling video.
Ang nakalagay doon sa warrant, ang complainant ko is SSS. Nakulong ako ng kulang-kulang 24 hours. Ang kaso ko ay hindi ako nag-comply. Tapos yung mga tao ko guys, walang requirements. Pumasok lang sa akin at saka arawan. Sa kabila ng pagtulong ko, yun lang naman intention ko makatulong ako. At siyempre makatulong ako sa ibang tao, lalo sa sarili ko at siyempre sa pamilya ko. Yun lang din palang magiging dahilan para makulong ako. Na sana kung mandatory man to or batas man talaga siya, sana naman tulungan nyo kami na maayos to. Sana naman hindi ito applicable sa kagaya naming nagsusurvive lang, panabla-nabla lang para makakain lang ng isang araw.
May pagkakamali talaga si Diwata at pinagsabihan ko po siya. Pero ang pinagtataka niya ay wala naman daw siyang mga empleyado na nagreklamo sa SSS. Dahil daw alam nila ang mga tao niya na maliliit na negosyo lang sila. At may nakarating sa kanya na naghahanap itong SSS na mga pwedeng magreklamo laban sa kanya. Tinuturuan sila paano mag-file ng complaint. Maraming ganito sa ating mga kababayan. Mga maliliit na negosyo na walang sapat na kalaman sa mga business compliance sa ating mga batas. Naalala ko po ang isa pang kaso na nakarating sa akin. Isang 71-year-old na lola na kinulong din dahil hindi sa pagrimata ng SSS contribution, pag-remit ng SSS contribution ng isang kooperatiba. Napag-alaman namin, hindi naman board of director itong si lola at isa lamang siyang miyembro. Ang masama pa ay walang record ng summons na pinadala sa kanya. Inimbestigahan na nangyari at walang malinaw na leadership ang kooperatiba at minalas itong si lola at siya ang dinawit ng SSS sa kaso. Ang di ko po maintindihan ay bakit ito maliliit na mga negosyo tulad ni Diwata at ni Lola ay kaya naman palang huliin at singilin ng kusa kahit wala nagreklamo na empleyado. Pero libo-libo pa din ang mga manggagawa na di natutulungan ang kanilang mga hinaing sa kawalan ng benepisyo. Itong kay Diwata, wala siyang kinaltas at walang nirehistro ng mga tauhan. Pero ang ibang malalaking kumpanya, nakarehistro, nagkaltas, pero binulsa at di nag-remit sa SSS, hindi nakasuhan at hindi nakukulong. Bakit itong mga empleyado kailangan pang lumapit sa akin para makasingil sa kanilang mga employers? Tulad ng mga security agencies na parati na lang nilalapit sa akin. Bakit di sila masingil ng SSS? Pilal to pag-ibig. Dahil bang may-ari ng mga agencies na ito ay dating mga retired o active military o colonel o general. Bakit ang mga kumpanya ng mga daming empleyado hindi kusang nasisilip at nasisingil? Tulad ng patayan na nabisita ko sa Silang Cavite, 71 na mananahi, walang pasweldo at kontribusyon sa SSS, pero despite that, hindi man lang sila kinasuhan ng SSS at hindi man lang kinulong ang may-ari ng patahian. Mr. President, the SSS has been under scrutiny for uncollected contributions for years. In 2023, the COA flagged uncollected premium contributions from delinquent employers. According to the report, only 4.5 billion pesos was collected in 2023, which is only 4.89% of the 93.7 billion collectibles for that year. In 2025, SSS bragged that uncollected contributions has gone down to 46 billion pesos. 46 billion pesos is not something to be proud of. Kung itong SSS naniniwala na malaga ang Social Security para sa ating mga mamamayan, dapat walang delinquency na ganyang kalaki. Tapos taas pa ng taas ng contribution rate. Di ba naman madidismay ang ating mga manggagawa rito? Para sa SSS, wag itong napapakulong ninyo ang mga small business owners ang i-flex nyo, kundi yung sanang makasingil kayo sa mga malalaking kumpanya. Wag yung mga karinderya at mga parisan lamang ang inyong pinagtutuunan ng pansin. At wag niyong hintayin na ako kulitin kayo na mangolekta. Ang lalaki ng sweldo ng mga board of directors ninyo dyan sa SSS, hundreds of millions of pesos. Ako, wala naman akong sweldo galing sa inyo dyan, pero bakit ako ginagawa niyong collecting agent? Gawin niyo ang trabaho niyo, SSS. Binigyan namin kayo ng kapangyarihan at sa kakareklamo ko tungkol sa SSS, tinaasan ng penalty sa mga violators ng SSS law para magkangipin ang batas. The Social Security Commission, when a person defaults in the payment of contributions, might collect through court action or by issuing a warrant to the sheriff of any province or city, commanding him to attach and sell any property of the debtor. And violators could be held liable for fines of up to 5 to 20,000 pesos and imprisonment to 6 to 12 years. The same teeth have been given to PhilHealth and Pag-ibig. Non-payment of contributions for PhilHealth is subject to fines of 50 to 100,000 and imprisonment of 6 months to 1 year. While for Pag-ibig, violators could be fined with 1 to 10,000 and imprisonment up to 6 years. Dati po, nung ako po'y broadcaster pa lamang na palagi ko pong kinukulang attention ng SSS, bakit napakaliit na multa kapag ang isang employer ay nag-violate ng SSS law at hindi po nag-remit sa SSS para sa contribution ng empleyado. Sa Manila, sa hindi, ay 1,000 pesos lamang po ang multa. So dahil sa aking pag-iingay, ngayon ay tinaasan nila pero not good enough. Mr. President, the problem is how these entities utilize these enforcement powers. I believe they should wield the sword of justice in the same way as the blindfolded Lady Justice who cannot see who is in front of her. They must apply the law equally to the rich or poor. But as public entities whose very core rely on their collection, I assume that they should focus their energy on those companies or businesses where they can collect more. It's just common sense. SSS as a law enforcement group, they even have a program called RACE, or Run Against Contribution Evaders. Pero bakit parang kulang pa din? There is something wrong with the registration, monitoring, and enforcement system. Do not see what's worse, they do not see the urgency of fixing that system. Napakahirap po para sa ating mga business owners, lalo na para sa ating mga MSMEs na mga mag-register at magpalit ng status ng mga empleyado. Mr. President, the informal business sector is the means of livelihood of most of our people. These enterprises that merely sell goods that they personally produce to meet their family needs become the victim of regulation that was meant for big companies. And that is why we have crafted so many laws to address the ease of doing business for small businesses. Magna Carta for MSMEs, Barangay Micro Business Enterprise Law, Negosyo Center Act, among others. Itong Negosyo Center Act, maganda ito dahil nagkaroon ng one-stop shop sa mga LGU para sa small businesses upang makapag-comply sila sa iba't ibang business regulations. Kulang sa assistance ang ating mga maliliit na mamamayan na itinatawid lang ang kanilang munting negosyo. Mr. President, recently there is so much unfairness in the way the power is being exercised by public officials and government entities. I hope they remember that if the law does not distinguish, neither should they when it comes to implementing the law. Be consistent, be fair. I hope to be able to take these matters up in the Labor Committee as these concerns affect our laborers. Thank you, Mr. President, and my dear colleagues.
Mr. President, Section 12 of the proposed measure provides for the prohibited acts, which reads as follows. Section 12 prohibited acts. It shall be unlawful for any person, entity, or government agency to discriminate against, deny, or impede the rights of persons with ASD, including but not limited to their rights to dignity, health care, inclusive education, employment, livelihood, social protection, and participation in decisions affecting their welfare. However, Mr. President, there is no penal provision included in the proposed bill. So I wish that we could propose the following penal clause, Mr. President. On page 4, between lines 14 and 15, insert a new section 13 to provide for the penal clause to read as follows. Section 13, penal clause. A, any person who violates any prohibited acts mentioned under Section 12 of this Act shall suffer the following penalties. 1, for the first violation, a fine of not less than 50,000 pesos, but not exceeding 100,000 pesos, or imprisonment of not less than 6 months, but not more than 2 years, or both at the discretion of the court. And 2, for any subject violation, a fine of not less, or for any subsequent violation, a fine of not less than 100,000 pesos, but not exceeding 200,000 pesos, or imprisonment for less than 2 years, but not more than 6 years, or both at the discretion of the court. B, if the violator is a government official or employee, he or she shall be administratively liable in addition to fine or imprisonment. C, if the violator is a corporation, organization, or any similar entity, the officials thereof directly involved shall be liable therefore. D, if the violator is an alien or a foreigner, he shall be deported immediately after service of sentence without further deportation proceedings. Mr. President, the proposed penal provision is in line with those specified under Republic Act number 77 or the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, will the proponent make the motion?
I move, Mr. President, that the proposed penal clause be added or be an amendatory provision of the proposed bill, Mr. President.
Accepted,
What
Mr.
does the sponsor say?
Accepted, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Are you sure?